The only thing we have to fear is beer itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Oh, we no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer!
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters, where we're going to bring you the news and reviews of some wonderful brews. My name is Dan Baker, as always, joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner,
and the household from entertainer,
Wayne Baker.
Now, today we do have a fourth Beer Buster, and kind of a fifth Beer Buster, too, because we recorded an interview on site with Natalie DeChico of Weyerbacher, and then we have our guest Colin Presby is going to be joining us in a little bit for a rousing rendition of Happy Fun Times
It's sort
games.
of like a rock and roll jubilee of stars today.
Ooh, I like that. But to get things going underway, let's do this. I almost said in the interest of time, so I guess now I just said it again. So in the interest of time, we only have one news story today, and it's kind of pertinent. It's about the big game coming up this week, and I believe legally I can't say what it's actually called, but there's two big NFL teams that are competing for the most watched sporting event in the world.
It's like when Superman eats breakfast, he has a bowl of Cheerios.
I like that.
and we have to cheer for the Broncos, I guess, because that is Uncle Chuck's team.
Oh, yeah, good
So
point.
Go Broncos.
Okay.
It's,
Go Broncos.
you know what? That is my friend Jared's team also, who was on, episode 8,
He was on
I
a
believe.
former
Yes.
episode. Uncle Chuck was in the background of episode 10. He
That's
was
right.
part of our
Yes, he
audience.
was.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
there's some ties to Denver, apparently.
Yes.
Um,
and they have really good beer in Denver, so.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Colorado, the cradle of craft beer.
That is true. Yeah, that's why I'm not surprised. Now, the story is Arnold Schwarzenegger, who used to be the Governor, and, of course, the Terminator and everything else. He has landed himself a $3 million deal to star in an ad.
Tuma.
He's starring in an ad in the big game for, I believe it was, for Budweiser. And it says here, the former California governor has agreed to a deal to star in a humorous beer ad despite his personal focus on health and fitness. The quote-unquote Terminator star joins a long list of celebrities earning money for the big game spots, including Lawrence Fishburne, Danica Patrick, who's been in, I think, commercials every year for the past, 10 or 15 years now.
That's
Danica Patrick.
GoDaddy, right?
I think, didn't they drop her as a sponsor?
They dropped her from GoDaddy.
Oh, my God.
They might have. I don't know. We should fact check this.
Danica Patrick was that the chick from the Wonder Years?
No, that
No,
was...
she's the race car driver.
That was
okay.
McKellar, Danica McKellar, I believe.
Danica. There's two people in the universe named Danica?
There's probably 3.
Wow. That's just an odd name.
It says, it says muscle-bound Danica Patrick stars in 13th Super Bowl ad for GoDaddy.
Wow,
so she's still doing it.
I really thought they dropped her along the way.
And she muscled up, apparently, for this one.
That's good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Among that list, we also have David Beckham and Sir Ben Kingsley. A source told the reporter of this article that Arnold has shot a series of ads in Japan, which apparently it's a trick that actors will use when they want to make cash, but they don't want to do it at home for looking greedy for an ad like this. So a $3 million ad, if you shoot that here in the States, you're going to get a couple of looks, but overseas, apparently that's
Nobody
normal?
pays attention. Or
Yeah.
something, yeah.
But pretty much hasn't done anything in the U.S. Persuading him to promote a beer is a big coup for Bud Light, which is kind of cool. Now, Schwarzenegger is still working out his divorce from Maria Shriver. He had 3 films set to come out this year, including the 3rd installment of The Expendables, and then he talks about global warming on the Showtime series Years of Living Dangerously, and he's expected to return to the Terminator franchise in 2015.
They're doing another Terminator?
They're going to ride that as long as they can.
Yeah.
The cast of Full House is doing their own Super
I
Bowl
saw
ad
that on
this year,
Facebook,
too.
yeah.
I'm excited
They're doing,
for that.
for Dannon, I
So
guess, the
it's
Greek yogurt.
Bob Saget, Dave Coulier, and...
Uncle Jesse.
Uncle Jesse, what's his name?
Stamos.
John
John
Stamos.
Stamos, that's it, yeah.
Has Dave Coulier done anything?
He's Canadian.
They hosted, him and Bob Saget had their America's Funniest Home Videos rivalries or whatever, because Saget did one and Coulier did the other, if I remember right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but one lasted, and what is Tom Bergeron is the host now?
I have no idea.
I used to love that show.
The last time I watched the show was Bob Saget in 1993
Yeah.
or something, so I have no idea.
I keep seeing reruns of South Park, and they did an episode where they wanted to win that contest so bad, and then his grandpa in the wheelchair wins. Sorry, I like South Park. Now, neither the spokesperson for Schwarzenegger or reps for Bud Light really commented on the fact that he's going to be in this, but I know
have no comment.
They've been teasing it in ads in the championship games that were pretty recently. I know Arnold was playing ping pong or something, and it was a Bud Light logo, and it said like coming soon or, wait until the 2nd or something like that. The big game is the 2nd this year, of February, of course. Advertisers are spending, this kind of gets me, this year advertisers are spending $4 million per 30-second spot for the big game.
Wow, so the Schwarzenegger one must be pretty short if it was only $3 million. Or is that just what he made?
He's
personally.
making
That's how
$3
they're
million.
paying for the ad spot, yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
And now, the actors that I just named, there's Scarlett Johansson is going to be in an ad for SodaStream, which I got a SodaStream for Christmas, and I love that thing, but I hate that I started drinking soda again. But it's awesome. And then we have Jaguar has announced its running spot based on a British movie, Bad Guys, starring Ben Kingsley. Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne is going to reprise his iconic role of Morpheus from The Matrix in an ad for Kia Motors' new Kia 900 luxury sedan. And the commercial is rumored to be a parody of the red pill, blue pill scene from the first Matrix film, which they had...
from the only Matrix film.
Hey, the second one wasn't bad. The third one...
No, they never made any other ones. I don't know what you're talking about.
If you say so. Now, their Wonderful Pistachios is going to have Stephen Colbert, which is pretty good. And there it is. Yeah, GoDaddy sticking with Danica Patrick. And a scantily clad David Beckham will appear in an ad for Swedish retailer, I didn't know they were Swedish, H&M, to promote his David Beckham bodywear line. So that's all we have for news this time around because our interview with Natalie was just so damn interesting. We wanted to give her as much time on the mic as we could. So without further ado... So we're on location at the Humeville Inn with Natalie DeChico of Weyerbacher. Natalie, how you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for making the trek all the way out here.
It's fine. It was a nice little trek. You've got a nice little setup here at the Humeville Inn. That's where we have you guys have the Aliens meetings, your homebrew club, of which you are the president, right?
Yes, I am.
All right. Mm-hmm. How long have you been in office?
Let's see. This March will actually be 1 full year elected office. I ran it for a year before that on my own before we had any officers. And then Jeff Llewellyn, who started the club, ran it the 3 years before that. So we're turning 6 in May. So I guess in May it'll be 3 and 3 for each of us.
That's really
cool. But officially a year. But no one ran against me, and I don't think anyone's going to run opposed.
Hey, an unopposed victory is still a victory.
That's right.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So now, for those who are not familiar with Natalie, working with Weyerbacher, of course, you've gotten to do brews with Weyerbacher, which is really cool. And I know you were the Philly Beer Geek champion 2011, was it? Okay.
Yes.
So what was that like?
Pretty awesome, actually. I mean, not that it wouldn't be awesome, but it was just really an overwhelming experience when it was right after I started working for Weyerbacher. So, people sometimes think, oh, you got it because you work for Weyerbacher, but it was just kind of starting to get into Weyerbacher and into my full-time position as a brewery rep. But I was already home brewing and bartending at the Humeville Inn, which I still bartend at 1 night a week. So, I knew about the beer and I was definitely into it. And after Steve Hawk won the year before from the Humeville and the Aliens, he kind of passed the torch along to me. He's like, all right, you have to make us proud and do it right. So, of course, I went in knowing I had to win pretty much or I couldn't show my face again. But it was pretty amazing just being able to kind of go out there and show off your beer geek knowledge and have fun with it in terms of, the open-ended questions and everything like that. I made a hop dress made out of homegrown hops that I glued on, and the open-ended questions where we got to poke fun at Yards and Tom Kehoe, who's always a good sport with everything that we do. Again, just the trivia. I actually studied a lot for it and learned a lot of things I didn't know about bars and breweries and the historical side of Philadelphia, which was cool. And then winning it was just absolutely surreal. It took Steve Hawk 3 times to win it. 3 years to win it, and then I won it the first year.
The first attempt.
Which is pretty cool. So that was great because then I was like, oh, God, I don't have to try again.
So as the winner, you got quite the haul of beer and prizes. Do you still have any of that stuff left over?
I actually do. Besides the T-shirts, which were mostly men's extra large, I gave away. I do have some of the T-shirts that I won. I have some of the beers still aging because there were some Great Divide, espresso, oak aged, I think it's just espresso aged Yeti Imperial Stout. So I got a whole case of that. Nice. So I gave most of it away, and I have a couple bottles of that aging, along with some of the other beers I won. My hop dress is still in the closet, degrading. It's zipped up in a bag, and
have it vacuum sealed.
Yeah,
I'm sure it smells quite cheesy.
It doesn't smell good. It smells like spray glue and everything.
Yeah. I didn't realize those were real hops that were on it. Because I think we met you at the Beer Geek Finals this past year. We were in support of Colin over there. but I didn't realize those were actual hops.
No, that was a painted on
That
hop
was-
dress.
okay,
That
so
one was
that-
just a
that
regular
was-
dress that I painted on.
okay,
The one
okay.
I actually wore for Beer Geek was 2 pounds of homegrown from Matt Meyer's Willamette hops that I fluffed up and sprinkled. But yeah, no, it was absolutely amazing. I mean, the beer hall was fantastic. Just kind of gave a lot of beer out to everyone. Kept some of the shirts, gift cards. I lost a couple gift cards. I used most of them. I think I gave a couple away because there were some that were, further for me to get to. And and even since then, it's been over, I think we give away over $3,000 worth of prizes now. So it's a lot.
Wow. You mentioned
insane.
one thing when you mentioned they were all men's T-shirts.
Yes.
I just wanted to say you are our first female guest.
Yes.
That's true.
Steph
Yeah,
was
it is,
waiting
yeah.
for this.
Yay.
Steph was waiting for
Episode
this.
20. It took 20
20
episodes to
episodes.
have
Man.
another female voice on the show.
So actually, in that vein, I was wondering, as a woman in the craft beer industry, is it? Do you think it's a unique experience because it is pretty much still a male-dominated industry?
It is. It's definitely getting a lot better in the past few years since I've really been working in the industry as opposed to just being, a home brewer or bartender in the industry. I cover the whole state of New Jersey, and since then we've gone from, I think, a couple female reps for the state, not Weyerbacher, but total in general,
Right.
to, has to be over 10 or so at this point, over 15, wholesaler, distributor reps, brewery reps. There's a lot more people looking, I don't want to say looking for a woman specifically, but
Right.
they're not just automatically going to ask a guy. I don't want to say that without sounding like people are only hiring women for that factor, but they understand that we also like to drink beer. It's horrible because I always try and phrase it without sounding like it's
I know
coming
what you mean.
across.
I know what you
Because
mean. Although
am a woman in the
I
industry.
would think
that there are knowledgeable women out there that can be hired. There we go.
Yes.
And I would think, with at the risk of sounding sexist,
Mm-hmm.
that guys who might have questions or want advice when it comes to either brewing or choosing beers might actually be more willing to ask a woman. No, be more willing to
No,
admit
because they
their
don't
ignorance.
think we don't know. Because they don't think I
Okay.
drink beer or know what I'm talking about until I have like a 2-minute long little speech that I just kind of go off on, and then once I get that done, they're like, okay, we get it. So then they know they
Right.
can ask me questions.
Right.
But whenever I meet a new manager or someone out there in the field that maybe questions what I know or don't know, or really, do I really drink the beer? You come on, you can tell me, do you really drink this stuff?
You drink mimosas, right?
Right. Yeah, totally. Once I give them, I kind of like just get into like a short 2-minute spiel, and they're like, okay, we give up, we get it. You
Right.
drink, about it. So that kind of works. And now people have gotten to know me, but I was just at a beer fest Saturday, and this was the 4th one in the same place that I did. And the lines for the women's restroom were actually longer than the men's this year. So, you know what that means? More women
Progress.
attending.
That's
Definitely. I think the
Nice.
first couple of fests I attended in Philly in the Navy Yard, there was just no one in line for the women's bathroom, which was fantastic. And I know it's silly to say, but that's how I can tell that it's really kind of changing over is,
I really
when you're out
love
at an event like
working
that.
a beer fest because, especially when the women come up to the table,
Mm-hmm.
because if it's a woman that comes up and they're like, I don't really drink beer, I don't know what to drink, and then I can kind of educate them a little bit
Mm-hmm.
and give them a few samples and talk them through it and kind of make them feel comfortable. And that's my favorite thing about working fests
Yes. Mm-hmm.
is being able to connect with other women and show them that beer is not just for men. They can find something they like as well.
Definitely. And I think women don't mind approaching anyone, but when they see another woman behind the table drinking beer, they are, they're more inclined to ask them a couple questions than they would than they would ask the guy or whatnot. So the fest I was just at, I was having a guy help me pour next to me, and everyone would address him and ask him the question first. We both had a Weyerbacher shirt on. We were both pouring the taps, but everyone always addressed him first. It happens,
Yeah. Interesting that it's still happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey. And he's like, no, she's the rep. Like, oh, hey, I'm from this bar. And he's like, yeah, she's the rep. You need to talk to her. And they're like, oh, okay. So I'm like, can you just go stand away for a second so people actually ask me the questions first? Thanks.
So as I was reading over your bio, something I didn't know about you is that you spent a semester in England.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
It was amazing. So I studied abroad in Bognor Regis, which is right along the Channel. So it's a coastal town, very, very small town. And I actually studied elementary education. I did my student teaching over there, which I know you're a teacher.
Yeah.
And
Who just got a student teacher today?
I did.
Did you?
Really?
10 years of teaching, and today my,
Oh my
first
goodness.
time I have a student teacher.
Bravo.
She's awesome, so I'm very excited about it.
Cool. how is it to have a student teach? Sorry, that's another topic. I'll ask you later. After this.
There is still a little bit of a teacher inside of her. That's
yes.
awesome.
I would think that's what really helps, and that's what really appealed to my boss and everything, is knowing that I am, I can get up in front of a room and talk to people, whether it's, a homebrew club or at a beer fest, seminar, or a beer dinner, not be afraid of it and be able to explain it to people.
For 38-year-olds.
Right. It's really drunk adults and little kids, I feel like, are the same thing. So I studied abroad in England, where, going over there, I had already known I liked to drink craft beer, and I knew that that's what I would drink when I turned. I was 21 when I went over, so I was starting to drink craft beer for my first time. And so I was super excited to go over there, not only for the beer, but for the experience in general. And teaching in the schools over there I actually tried to get them to hire me, but they wouldn't because they were laying off people, which I came back to the States, and so is everyone around here, which is fantastic. But the beer is just hand pumps, just cask ale everywhere, absolutely fantastic. Ended up dating someone in England for a couple years, so we traveled back and forth. So he worked in a bar or a pub, so when I would go over there, I would help 10 bar, a couple
That's really
nights,
cool.
which was
awesome.
Yeah, so then when I came, once I graduated and came home from England and then graduated from Penn State, my dad and I was like, all right, I'm 21 now, let's start home brewing. And the first beer that we brewed was based off a recipe brewed in the town of Chichester, where I student taught in England, which is still one of my most favorite beers. It was brewed with golden syrup, which is like their maple syrup, but no maple in it. It's absolutely fantastic. It was an IPA too, so it was very
And
good.
you just recently brewed something interesting with your dad for another upcoming competition.
Yes.
The creamy brown ale?
Yes, it is a cream brown ale with the California common yeast, or I guess I saw on... No, they're calling it cream ale yeast now, White Labs, no common ale. So
they're
changed
allowed
the
to
name.
call it that.
They called it a cream ale yeast and not a California common or steam yeast, because I was printing out info for tonight for a meeting. And we brewed a brown ale with a lot of crystal malt in it to add to that creaminess, and then split the batch, and half the batch has chai tea in it. So it's for our Iron Brewer competition, where half the second round winners had to brew with coffee, but it couldn't be a stout or a porter, and then the other half had to brew with tea, as long as the base was white, black, or green tea base. Ooh. So it had caffeine. You couldn't just use like an herbal tea bag that had spices and
fruit flavors,
no base to it. So mine was a lot of black tea with a little loose chai from the Teavana in the stores. So not really like the cinnamon vanilla, but more so like the herbal qualities. Oh, so yeah, if you stick around, you'll be able to try it tonight once my dad gets here with it. It's nice because we didn't use any bittering hops, so we allowed the bitterness of the tea to be the bittering aspect of the beer. It's fantastic. I'm really excited about it. I hope
so.
It's
going to win, right?
Yes, but then we made up the ingredients for think of like Iron Chef on TV. You get a random ingredient. So we made up the final ingredients the other night for who makes it to the top. Who makes it to the finale, and I don't kind of want to brew it.
Oh no!
Given the ingredients, we're gonna kind of pick out of a bag and put 3 ingredients together. So I'm not really.
So they haven't been picked yet.
It. No, we're gonna
still
let
top
the
secret.
the first or the person that moves on from the coffee and then the tea categories pick it. So one's a spice category, one's a yeast category, and then El Dorado hops.
Wow.
But the spices are like cumin and anise, and I think there's kumquats in there.
I would just throw peppers in it.
Of course,
Yeah.
Almost everything I brew, I just put peppers in it. I love spicy stuff.
I kind of want to go back to the whole England thing for a second. I have to say that I'm jealous of that for 2 real reasons. I was in England when I was 17. What's your thought? Okay.
We went to Abbey Road. That was awesome.
Okay. So now there's 3 reasons.
Did you pose? Did you do the?
Oh, yeah. There's pictures on all of our family's walls with us.
That's awesome.
My brother's yelling at us. They really don't do this in the picture as I'm like spreading my arms and like they're walking. Like they don't do that. I had my shoes off. Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh, so you were the dead one.
Well, yeah.
Because you had the shoes off.
Well, I was born on John Lennon's birthday, so yeah.
Wow.
Very
anyway,
cool.
Well, my 2 reasons are one. I was supposed to study abroad in London when I was in school. I went to Temple only because they had a school in England, in London, for broadcasting, which I went to school for. Being in London when I was 17, it was my favorite city I'd ever been to. Never went. In reality, I couldn't leave my life behind. I couldn't. The money was just too much. But the other thing is, when I went over there, I did not like beer.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
And I really wish I could go back in time and just smack my younger self, because now I know it's one of the best things in the world. But one of my favorite beers that I have now is Boddington's, which is cream ale, and I I can only imagine what it's like to get that from a hand pump in London or in England anywhere.
Right. It was that and Old Speckled Hen, I think, is what my dad came over twice, actually. Once with my girl and then once with my mom and my brother. Twist his arm, he had to come over twice. But having those beers that, he's tried to get, and they're not so much hard to find now, but when he first started drinking and brewing, they were really hard to find then. So going over there and just seeing it in abundance and having it, out of the cask was truly, like, I think just a mouth-watering, amazing thing for him. But it was fantastic. And just every town had their own small, brewery or local brewery or just, yes, it was great.
Well, I realized I did a review of Boddington's. I do this blog for the site called Dan's Beer's Not From Here. It's like that. It's all foreign beers because we concentrate on local craft beer on the show. But Boddington's is owned by Anheuser-Busch, I think it is.
No.
InBev.
Yeah,
They're owned by
only
InBev.
for distribution. They don't touch any of the production, but they distribute it more widely, which is why you can get it over here.
Okay, I guess you couldn't before.
Yeah.
You know what, though? Franziskaner still remains one of my favorite beers ever, and it's also associated with InBev. The bottom line is good beer is good beer.
Yeah,
If you like
exactly.
it, drink it, period.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Right.
Let's not
Very
be snobs.
Let's not.
No, we've got Boddington downstairs in the can, and it still sells tremendously well. And there's a place in Jersey that's not far from here that has Old Speckled Hen on the Nitro line.
Ooh.
I have a beer dinner coming up there, and I was like, don't mind if my dad, because I hope my parents come because we live close to it. And I was like, don't mind if my dad has like 5 of those before we have the Weyerbacher beer dinner. So, and I brought a lot of beer, and every time we'd travel back, my ex-boyfriend and I would travel back and forth, we'd each bring a suitcase of beer here and there. And
It's a good idea.
yes.
So what did he think of American craft beer then?
Good question.
Well, we always came here to drink, so I guess he would drink it. The IPAs were really strong and bitter. That wasn't really what he was into. They were just very much so like on the bitter side, and he wasn't used to that. Whenever he came over, he would still have like a Newcastle Brown. That's how I first found this place. Is when I came home and graduated, I was like, where can I find Newcastle Ale on tap? Because we went to the brewery when we were over there, and it popped up. Hugh Billen has Newcastle Brown Ale on tap, which I don't think you can even find anywhere anymore. I think it's so overlooked.
Actually, Red Robin has it on tap.
Really?
Red Robin.
Wow.
That
Yum.
huge hamburger chain.
Huh.
Yeah.
Good
Believe it
to
or not.
know. Good to know. So I think, the IPAs definitely weren't his favorite. More so, I think, like the Belgians, the Browns, kind of, I guess, what he would drink over there. Some, I don't want to say like lagers like Yingling. Well, yeah, like Yingling was actually not horrible. It was nice because it was like an American lager or anything like that. Stouts, porters, things like that he would drink. And then I know... Nope, lost my train of thought. That's it. We were on beers, England, drinking.
I have to say
gone.
about Newcastle though. That's the first non-Yingling beer that I went back to when I was freshly 21.
Yes.
So let's see. On February 10th, which is a Monday, I have a beer dinner in Lambertville at Inn of the Hawk. They're all posted online on Weyerbacher.com. All my events for February, and then I kind of post a month at a time. So Tuesday is at actually a new brew pub in where is that? Jamesburg, New Jersey. It's a Hearthstone Grill is the name of it, and they brew 2 or 3 of their own beers, and they carry other craft beers on tap. So we're going to do an event there. That's February 11th. Oh, and then I go to New Orleans for a bit, so there's no events then. But there's the Morristown Big Brew Fest on February 15th. I have a little tapas and beer pairing at the Hat Tavern in Summit on Tuesday the 20th. Whole Foods tasting in Middletown, New Jersey near Red Bank on the 21st. A Rocky Hill beer dinner in Rocky Hill, which is right north of Princeton, on Wednesday the 26th, which has the Old Speckled Hen on Nitro. And
I don't think I've ever had that.
Yum.
Just super easy to drink, creamy, smooth, and let's see, March 5th, Garrity's in Burlington coming up, and I'll just stop from there. I think that's enough. So, but you can always find all of our events on the Weyerbacher.com website, my Weyerbacher Nat Twitter, our Weyerbacher Facebook, Hunterdon Distributors or Hunterdon Brewing, which is our distributor in New Jersey, wholesaler for UPA people. I do live in PA.
For you
but,
people.
Right. Well, I have to translate back and forth. So they always post all of our events, and also New Jersey Craft Beer also posts all of our events going on too.
We'll also link the Weyerbacher site on the episode page so our listeners can just click.
Excellent.
Relevant internet.
Right, and we'll share
linkage.
that. I think we just hit 14,000 followers. Woohoo!
Wow.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's great.
I think Neshaminy Creek's only like 2,000 behind us now, and they've been open for 18 months. So we need to work on that. Hey,
Beginner's
Chamonix
luck.
Creek.
So
I think that's it on my end.
Yeah.
In terms of,
now we did, and it'll be at the end of this episode. We did taste your Althea. I don't know why I can remember the name of that. I even have it written right in front of me in all caps, bigger than everything else written on this page. But we did drink Althea, and I have to say I normally don't like plums, but I really liked what that brought to the flavor of it.
right. And I'll say that I think with most fruit beers, it even happened this past weekend when I was talking about Blithering Idiot and I said there's some dark fruit flavors in there, or if you say there's banana and Merry Monks, people automatically say, well, I don't like fruit in my beer. And you say, well, those beers don't even have fruit in them. So just, that's how we're describing that beer. So give it a try. And Althea with the plums, there were so many men, I will say it, that didn't want to try when I was sampling it out there because there was plums. They don't want fruit in their beer. But I said, no, it really is hidden on the back end. And as this beer ages, it does kind of dry out and become a bit more, I would say like dry, and that Belgian like kind of prickly spiciness comes through. But even to begin with, you kind of had just that stone dark fruit flavor in the back end. It wasn't straight plum. And that's how it was when my dad and I brewed it. We're not a fan of fruited wheat beers or just fruited beers in general, but it was our Christmas beer that we had come up with, and every year we do a different Belgian. And I love plums, and the year before was what do we do? I guess a strong. So this year's was a double. Last year's was a double. This year's was a triple. So we figured plums, and it worked out together with the maltiness, the dark fruit flavors. And then when Weyerbacher approached me and they said, hey, we want to brew this beer for breast cancer awareness. Do you have any ideas? And I said, I have the perfect beer. Just brewed it, because at this point it was only a month old after we had brewed it. Said, it'll fit in with our aesthetic. We haven't brewed a double in a while. The plums, I think it'll appeal to women. I think men will still like it. Gave Chris Wilson a bottle of our homebrew to try it. Really wasn't that good, I guess. He's like, it's getting kind of old.
Wow.
He said, but the recipe looks great, Natalie. Yeah. But at that point it was, I guess, getting old. We still liked it. Thanks again, Chris Wilson. No, they've been absolutely, he said, this is great. I love the recipe. Let's do it. We didn't even have to tweak much. We used over 1,200 pounds of plums for 180 barrel batch.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And then we donated over $12,000 to the Lehigh Valley Health Network Awareness
That was going to be one of my
Association.
questions, because it's $1 per bottle that goes to
$1
that, right?
per bottle.
Yeah.
We
Wow.
released, I guess, 1,000 cases then, just over 1,000 cases to the neighboring states, local neighboring states, not too far of a reach. I think Dan Weyerbacher wants to do it again in the fall. We'll see. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
That's awesome.
And Althea means healing in Greek, and it's just a
right.
tremendous opportunity to get up there and brew my beer, spend the day brewing, but also have my dad and I's recipe recreated in an 80 barrel batch, a large format scale. So it was just, again, I was just super thrilled. To have that happen.
I can't imagine what that feels like on a personal level to know that your recipe went for something that great. Like that's phenomenal.
And they didn't put my name on it. That would have been nice.
That's a good point.
No, it was, I think, just more so the fact that I knew that there was going to be so much money being donated to this charity, and that it was, I don't want to say it wasn't because of me, but it was, partially and because of my sales of the beer and being involved in it, and a woman being involved in the process. Was just, just so thankful to have the opportunity that Weyerbacher's given me. And they've been great to me. And I guess, my dad and our homebrew club and every other homebrew club, they will give out, prizes and everything. But they're just a great brewery to work for, as I'm sure most local craft breweries are. And every brewery is. But yeah, I think there's still some Althea out there. If people see it, pick it up. It's a big pink
Some
label.
of it made its way to the Beer Busters podcast basement.
Yes, it did.
I might
delicious.
have a case missing one bottle at home. I started off with 2. So I'm down to 11. I think that's pretty good.
So I see you brought some more Weyerbacher
Yes,
beers for us
I
to try.
did.
I'm very excited about this. What should we start with?
Let's start with Aruga. But it is
Aruga.
So it's spelled
Aruga.
Aruga. And that's how is it Aruga?
It's Aruga. That
Now-
is the it's a
That's the
constellation series.
constellation on the label.
Correct.
Oh, that makes sense.
So our current Brewer Select series, we name them. It is a crappy opener. Sorry, and I'm not even going to say it out
I was
loud.
trying
What
to
type
be
of opener it
helpful.
was? It was just the key. Thank you. The keys to the closet.
Everybody's starting their keys.
I want to see what she would
This
say.
is a Stouts one. It was given. I mean,
can
they
say
have
that.
hundreds of them,
There you go,
in the back. So when they made it up for, but yeah. So our current Brewer Select series is we just named them after the constellation. Our first Brewer Select series was named after the NATO alphabet, which is where tango comes from, which was we're re-releasing shortly. I wanted to bring a bottle of that, but it wasn't fully bottle conditioned. So Auriga or Arugula, if you would say, is a 6.6% American stout. I wouldn't say too American. I wouldn't call it the hoppiest American stout. So we're following the Northern Hemisphere constellation. So I think we have 44 to go through. The next 6 all begin with the C. There's like Camelopia. I don't even know how we're going to fit it on a tap label. Because so we release these beers bottle only to sell at the visitor center and then draft only for local states, something special. So you should be able to find it in New Jersey and PA. This one, not so much anymore because they probably already tapped it, but Boats or Booties, you should be able to see on taps now. Or it's actually just hitting the Philly, Bucks County, and Burbs area, the 4 surrounding burbs. New Jersey, though, it went out about 2 weeks ago. So I was right, 6.5%, only 44 IBU. So not extremely happy in terms of an American stout.
It's so delicious, though.
It is.
It's very
Lots
good.
of dark chocolate aftertaste. I'm even getting like hints of blueberry. Although I apologize to our listeners, at this moment I'm sick right now, so I don't know if my taste is
God only
100%
knows what you're
on.
tasting.
Right. No, I
is very
kind of,
good.
I mean, maybe because you just said it too, but there's something in the back end. There's Delta hop. It was brewed with Delta hops.
That
It's
is
so
really
good.
good.
And there's a nice, it still finishes dry, but there's a nice sweetness where our old Heathen Imperial Stout's almost more just like dry coffee, bitter, like at the end, I would say.
Yeah, this does have a sweetness that kind of comes in at the end. And it's, what is it, 6.5?
Yes.
It doesn't taste boozy, but it tastes like it would be higher than that. I
It
think.
does taste
Yeah.
like it would be higher.
Yeah.
I would say, like, if I tried it to begin with, I'd say 7.5 or so.
Yeah, I give it around 7.5 or 8, I would think, but
Right. I think the sweetness is doing that.
it is very good.
Deliciousness.
It's like drinking the stars.
Wow.
You're hired. We actually do need a brewer. Just saying, Steph.
That would be awesome.
Why
Follow
not?
in the footsteps of many of my fellow brewing friends. Start
Yes,
at Weyerbacher.
Exactly. Who hasn't at this point, I
That's
think, worked
true.
at Weyerbacher.
If you need a taste tester, let me know.
But yeah.
Well,
Quality control.
They did just
A little
open
smokiness in the back end.
their new remodeled tasting room. The new bar looks. I haven't been there in person, but I've seen all the pictures online, and it looks awesome. It's a great place to go and drink. All the bartenders in the tasting room are very cool guys.
Really, really nice.
Do you have any females that work in the tasting room?
Yes, we do. I don't know their names per se, but I know there's at least over 5 or 6.
I guess every
give
time
tour
I've been
service.
there, it's been guys. But
I know
it's-
Teresa's been there for a while. Cassie was there full time for a bit when we just opened the visitor center, but then she left for a job in her field, and then I think she still kind of helps out once in a while. But I've definitely seen other women. I think Amanda also works there. I know that, and then like I said, I know there's a few other that float around time to time. But we're open now Monday to Saturday, noon to 7. So there's plenty of time for you to come in. There's 12 beers on tap. They'll always have the 3 750s open. So you can get through 15 free samples of beer while you're up there.
Done.
And then tours are Friday night and then Saturday during the day. Or if you guys want to come up during whatever works better for you, we can get you guys a private tour or anything like that.
Ooh, exciting.
So, but yeah, there are some females around. I was excited when Cassie was hired full-time as the visitor center employee, but she just left. But we do have some other part-time women.
Awesome.
Oh, I think we have a New York City rep that just got hired, and she's a female. So, but she splits a couple other brands, so I'm still the only full-time one. So you can come brew with us when you're done.
So what should we open next?
The
Booties?
booties. Yes.
So this is the other constellation.
Correct.
So I'm taking it you're doing them in alphabetical order.
Yes.
And this is the one that walks the dogs.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is a American Strong Ale at 9%. I think it's to me, it's almost like a Insanity Junior, which is our bourbon barrel aged Blithering Idiot, in terms of like the boozy caramel sweetness. I wish I had that link of where all the other, I know I posted it, the next 5 coming up, because I challenged someone. I said, if you can spell and pronounce all of these after drinking an Insanity, and I think Christian Mosbach was like, oh, I can do that. I said, all right, well, you don't get to sip the Insanity. You have to chug the Insanity first.
Yeah.
You know.
We should record him trying.
Yeah, that
Oh
would,
my gosh,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
impossible.
That would be good for an outtake for the
It
newsletter.
would be a very good outtake, absolutely.
Ice.
Baby. Too cold.
Sorry. They were on the snow outside.
Oh, right.
They weren't
right,
on
right.
ice. They were just on the snow
I
slightly.
was singing Ice Ice Baby. Ice Ice Baby.
I think she got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay. I was just
He's on the
making sure.
cooking show now, which is fantastic.
Really?
On the Celebrity Kitchen.
With Rachel Ray. Yep.
Jeez.
He's not that good.
Wow.
He's not going to make
Can't
it.
imagine.
He tried to do like a little Ice Ice Baby thing, and it didn't work out.
Didn't work
No.
out.
So this is the 9% strong ale,
Correct. And 90 IBUs. So think like Stone, Arrogant Bastard, kind of.
I like it. It's not as harsh as Arrogant Bastard, though.
No, it's
It's
not.
very
It's really
drinkable,
not, no.
but you still get the nice flavors.
The hops in there were Bravo and Centennial.
I really like the color.
It is about 100 IBU range.
It does not taste like 100
Yeah, I was just
IBUs.
gonna
I
say,
guess
No.
it's
it doesn't
the
taste that bitter.
the
no.
darker malts and
Yeah.
the yeast, the spiciness of the yeast are kind of subduing
Yeah.
the IBUs, I guess. The bitterness.
And like our Double Simcoe, which is 90 IBU, it's not. I think
I love
Last
Double
Chance has more of a bittering flavor
It has more of
than
like the punch.
right. The Simcoe does because
Yeah.
the malts are there. Like this has the malts to cover it up. I like this one. This has been, I think, one of my favorites out of the Constellation series that we started.
So is the Constellation series, is that going to be a once and done kind of thing? Or
Yes, it's something that, so we try and brew them every 2 to 3 months, and we ask the brewery, the cellarman, the brewers, pretty much anyone in the brewery for suggestions online. We don't really have too much of like a suggestion box online, and it's kind of tough to pull them if I ask online, but the other day I asked if anyone had ideas for a 19th anniversary, and I wrote them all down that people wrote on Facebook. And I'll submit that to our brewer just to kind of get them thinking of things. And I know I was at a tasting once when we were in the NATO Alphabet series, and someone said, oh, well, you guys used to brew a Scotch ale. Why don't you brew that again sometime? And I texted our brewer, I said, oh, how about a Scotch ale? And he goes, okay, sure, that's Papa. And that was in our Constellation series. That was the next one. He's like, oh, we needed one. So yeah, sure, we'll brew another Scotch ale. So we do, it's always something different, something we've never brewed before. So we always need new ideas, and it's good to ask other home brewers or just really anyone in the brewery for ideas. I keep asking for this one style, and I'm not going to say it because I'm not going to give it out. And all they just say is, well, just go home and brew that. So, all right, I did. So, yeah. Well, the chai tea beer is something they didn't want to brew a beer with tea. So I did finally brew that. They won't brew a root beer, but I'm not going to brew that either. I just don't feel like doing that, and they won't do that either. And then there's this other one, which I know would fit right in line with everything we do. So it's obviously something Belgian, and they won't brew it. I'm going to keep working on them, though.
Yet, you need to find the right brewer to come in.
So
Correct.
If one of our listeners correctly guess is.
Wait, we haven't even hit insanity
I know,
or heresy yet.
I know. The style or the that you will not mention. We should give them.
We'll have to give them
Sure.
a prize.
Some sort
I
of
think we
prize.
still have one
I mean-
bumper sticker lying
Yeah, I think
around
we do,
somewhere.
yeah.
I'll kick in a prize too.
There you go.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
Sure, whatever they want from Weyerbacher, minus a reserve bottle because that's expensive and I can't give that.
Oh, that stuff is so
I know.
good. That and
Beyond
Sour
that.
Black. Those are my
Yes.
two favorite Weyerbacher
We
beers.
do. We just brewed another Berliner the other day, so we're gonna start looking into that. We have
I'm a sour nerd.
a rum barrel aged beer that's in bottles right now. That's gonna be brewery only. It's called Rumpshaker.
Oh boy.
Yes, it's over 10% golden sparkly rum, oak, coconut, banana, delicious
Oh my God.
booziness. It's absolutely fantastic.
Sounds really good.
Yes.
If that doesn't get you to the brewery, then I don't know what will. People, come on.
Yes. Keep a lookout. I'm not sure when exactly we're going to release that, but that will be out there.
I think I would wait outside in the cold to wait for that.
No, we reorganized it now, so you don't have to wait outside. If anyone went to the Idiot Stroll release and we made you wait outside in that
In the
line,
cold.
right? We reorganized it for, I think it was a reserve release. So you come in at the opposite end of the brewery and you make your way past about 6 or 7 different tables and then come to the visitors center.
Oh, nice.
So you don't have to wait outside anymore. So if we do any more releases now, you'll be able to kind of snake your way through the brewery, wait inside in the warmth. And
So
we'll
it's
have
like a tour first. Come and wait in line and
Yes.
you get a private tour of the brewery.
Yes, and you would start by the brew house, so you do kind of go in order of everything.
It's like a
there you go.
self-guided tour, but yeah.
It
It's
is.
better than waiting outside in the cold.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. It's beer, it'll happen. That's why I like the cask ales so much. And England was great, and even now, you can just drink so many because the carbonation's a bit lower and easier to drink.
That's right. So what should we do next?
Heresy. And then we'll
course.
finish with Insanity. Though I always go back and forth between Heresy and Insanity, and people say, oh, well, the dark has to be last. But I think Insanity and the boozy quality should be last.
Okay, we have a table full of really crappy bottle openers right now. I'm just going to put it out
Hey,
there.
hey, that one's good.
I left my keys at home, so I
that's
don't
your
have my
MGK
good
one.
one. Oh, you said it out
I
loud.
did get 2 really nice
No,
bartender
I
bottle
didn't say
openers
the one
from
we weren't
Unibrew this
supposed to
past
say. I
weekend.
said Dan's.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can't say
I can't
this
say what
one.
Natalie's is.
wait, but Dan doesn't work for MGK.
I don't, but
matter.
that is what is on my key ring.
That's
though.
fine.
I didn't
It's a
know if you were
statement
allowed
of
to
fact.
say it
It's
since
not
he
an
doesn't work
endorsement.
there. Oh, okay.
All right, I
Okay,
think.
so this is heresy.
That's
The
what you
only
wanna
one of
drink
these
out of my
beers
cup.
I've had before is Insanity.
Really? Well, I mean, obviously the other
Well,
2 you
the
wouldn't
other
have
2 I
anyways.
wouldn't have had, yeah,
So
but-
Heresy hasn't released to stores yet. So I think you're one of the first people to try this year's. And this is the first batch that came out of the bottles. We bourbon barrel age Insanity and Heresy. Heresy is the bourbon barrel aged version of Old Heathen Imperial Stout, which is a year-round beer for us. We get wet bourbon barrels down from Kentucky. We put the beer in it. We only ever use them once, and then we get rid of the barrels. So we get the most amount of bourbon, charcoal, oak. Insanity always tends to be softer on the bourbon side than Insanity, and I don't know if it's because it's such a dark stout already, but Insanity really pulls through, I think, more bourbon, whereas Old Heathen pulls through more of kind of like the oak, the sweetness, the vanilla notes, and everything. And every year is slightly different, even though we blend all the barrels back together. Just depends on that year's batch of barrels, which everyone always asks, what barrels do you use? And we use a blend of whatever essentially our barrel broker gives us. They come up in tractor trailers. I mean, we go through hundreds of them. Like, you know, they bring up tractor trailers of barrels, and they can be Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, Maker's Mark, Heaven Hills,
Do not
Four
know.
Roses, just so pretty much everything. And then we blend them all back together, because even if it's all Maker's Mark, each barrel tastes differently. When you go through and taste them before you blend them, one can taste like straight vanilla, one tastes like straight charcoal, the other is too boozy and so hot. So you blend them back together in the bright tank, it creates one brew, and then you bottle or keg it from there.
So if you only use the barrels once, what do you do with the barrels afterwards?
We actually sell them at the brewery for $25.
Nice.
They're 53 gallons and 125 pounds. So
That's a bargain,
yes,
I have to
unless
say.
you're brewing with your homebrew club, you're probably not going to make enough beer to use it for just your own homebrew, which we get asked a lot. Though they make a really nice bar top, or just, you know, build your bar, decoration, planters, anything like that. But we do sell them for $25. So, and we generally post on our Facebook when they're available to come and pick them up if you want. I know some people use them as rainwater collections. We have a couple at my house that hold plants, and then another that holds the water that dumps into the fountain from our pond. And it was a Blasphemy barrel, which is our bourbon barrel-aged Belgian quad. When we first cut it in half, the water does kind of trickle on the side of it before it goes into the pond. And I know the fish were drunk for like 2 weeks. There was bees everywhere for 2 weeks. It was so boozy and strong and sweet. But yeah, so Heresy, this is our 8% Imperial Stout. And some of the barrels do go into our sour program sometimes, but currently we were phasing out a lot of the older bourbon barrels that the bugs were living in for Reserva and replacing them with the wine barrels. And we have some lacto barrels too. It was just the brewers thought it came out with a nicer flavor, and they were just getting old. So sometimes you have to replace the old barrels with newer ones. But we've been working with more wine for the Reserva.
Do you get wine barrels from a local winery? Or is
Chadsford.
that another? Oh, Chadsford. Very cool.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes.
Cool.
I think most of them are from Chadsford.
Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Humeville.
Like
And
Humeville.
Humeville.
And when I tell people in New Jersey I live across from Trenton, they're like, what? I'm like, Trenton?
Trenton.
Please, no one in Trenton saying Trenton or Trenton. They're like,
Trenton.
Trenton. Oh, here we go. I found the next 6 Brewer Select series. Ready?
Oh, here
Yes.
we go.
Okay. Corona Borealis. Well, I think we've all heard and known that one. But still, can you spell Borealis?
Aurora Borealis.
Aurora Borealis.
Borealis.
Good, you win a heresy. Yay! I think that should be something like yellow, like Corona, like light, maybe like a super pale. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Coma or comma, I guess it's coma, C-O-M-A, and then the next words, it looks like Berenices.
Coma Berenice?
Coma Berenices.
Yeah.
Berenice. Yeah.
Okay.
Sound sure.
Yeah,
Greek
that sounds
We'll go
good.
with
Yep.
that. We'll go with that.
I agree.
Cassiopeia,
All
to
right.
that
We
one.
know that one.
Canis Minor,
Okay.
and then, or Canis made minor, and then Cain's. Yeah, I know. I used to be a teacher. Canes,
astronomy.
Venetici, which is the major one. The other.
Venetici, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I would go Venetici.
Right.
Or Venetici?
And
I think
so,
chi is 2 C's.
Yep.
Is it 2 C's?
I think
Oh,
so,
yes.
yeah.
so for both of the dog ones, I think we're going to do like some sort of like single and then double something to relate them to each other since they're the major and minor stars. And then the last one's, it's camel and then Paradalis put together, which actually means giraffe. And that's the giraffe
Oh, a
constellation.
camelopard.
Camelopardalis.
Yeah, because they used to call giraffes camelopards because they thought they were a mix between camels and leopards.
Which they did look like that. Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that's, I think, the toughest one. But, yes, that is a giraffe. The dog ones are really interesting constellations. It's literally 2 stars and a line.
And a line.
How is that a
That
dog?
would be a line in
Gotta
like
use
3rd
your
grade
imagination.
geometry.
Use your imagination.
So this is Insanity, which is one of my, if not my favorite brew from Weyerbacher. It is a bourbon barrel-aged barley wine, and it's the Blithering Idiot barley wine that we bourbon barrel-aged at 11.1%.
Dan.
Thanks.
I'm trying
Thank
not
you.
to pour so much for Dan because I know he has to drive.
Well, you can hang out and listen. Colin's going to actually talk about him running for his governing committee spot on the American Homebrewers Association.
Voting begins February 20th.
Yes, please make sure you vote. We need people out on the East Coast to really weigh in
Absolutely.
and be on the committee. So tremendously bad. I think, if you were, the NHC was a great time, and we had a lot of members attend, but it would just really help, I think, the East Coast in general to have as many as possible, really, on the committee.
We're throwing our full support behind him, and then
Yeah.
some.
I mean,
Whatever
if
we
there's
can do.
anything, that's what I was going to say. And I'm just thinking of things that I can even do. You just look at it, and, when they came out to NHC, I just wish there was more that we all could have done to really involve Philly as a city.
Absolutely.
And
I felt a little empty after the conference because it was so amazing to come together here in this region, all the home brewers all together, and even with the commercial brewers that were there. And it was such a good time in like those 3-4 days, and then it was over. And I was missing it. So we need someone from here to bring more awesomeness to the East Coast. And
the
I think
rallies
Colin
and
will do it.
everything. I think so, definitely.
So yeah, this beer is one of my
This is
favorites.
very
my
good.
God.
This is very good.
Vanilla
you
and
can taste the
candy and
alcohol
creme
in it.
brulee and deliciousness.
Yes. It is a dessert that will knock you on your behind.
Yes.
I'll keep it PG for you, Dan.
Your arse.
Thanks,
It
Wayne.
will. It will. It's what's really tough about all my Weyerbacher events. I mean, I cover the whole state, so I can be anywhere from 10 minutes away to 2.5 hours away, and I'll have a beer and a half, or if I have a bigger dinner, I generally take my whole beer, and before I even, drink out of it, I'll go to someone I meet at the table next to me and give them pretty much my whole beer except a sip, and then I'll find someone different the next time and give them my whole beer and then just save myself a sip because I have to drive home. I mean, we're not loaded. I can't stay over every night, and our beers are quite high in alcohol.
They are.
So pretty much this is what I'll order at, but also, if I go to an event and Insanity is on tap, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I have to have it. Okay, just give me a sample of that, and then I'll take a full last chance and just nurse it. And it's horrible to say, but I've become really good at nursing beers the whole night.
Yeah.
As long as you have like half a beer in your hand, you walk around the whole night, and people are like, oh, what are you drinking? And you're just, yeah, last chance. It's like my 7th one. Not. But they all know you have to drive home, so they're all, getting drunk, and you're just teetering
Sipping
along.
away.
Yeah.
I can't believe. I've never had the Insanity before. I can't believe what this is. And this is going to
That's
sound
very
really
good.
stupid, and I apologize, but
No,
it kind of
it's okay.
reminds me of a vanilla snack pack.
Yeah.
Wow.
I could see that.
You do
No.
get the vanilla out of it. You know,
A
it's
lot
funny,
of vanilla.
When you did the habanero IPA, the Capsaicin Carnival, and we did the label with
Matt Vargin.
Matt Vargin, when
I
we
know
were.
that name.
He's a member of the Berks Homebrew Club. He's in the
Okay.
club, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he
We
came
did
up
it.
with the
He
name.
he was a guest on our show. We had a listener contest to come up with a name for a beer that Seth was going
He
to
also
brew.
helped me with the recipe.
And he helped it with, so he came up with the winning name, Capsaicin Carnival, and then we
Okay.
decided I designed the label, and I made like a cartoon version of him to put on the label. But the Insanity, I was actually drinking an Insanity right around that time. I just got a bottle of it, and we were brainstorming ideas about him with like the Joker's hat and stuff, and I kept thinking of that label.
Yes.
The Insanity.
Yeah.
That inspired you a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh,
I
very
think
cool.
the unofficial slogan for it, I think we used to have it, I don't know if it was on a t-shirt or a poster, and it was the idiot has finally lost it because it's the blithering idiot bourbon barrel age.
That's
I
clever.
love it.
And him,
I like
kind of
that.
screaming in
That's really clever.
all
I
his
like that.
insane moments. And I've been trying to get that on a T-shirt. Josh Lampy or Bill Bragg, someone listen and please put that slogan on a T-shirt. I love it.
Wow.
The idiot has finally lost it.
Hey, we can put it on a shirt in our swag shop.
That would be great.
Beer Buster
Whatever
swag
you
shop.
want on a shirt,
Yeah.
Wayne can do it.
Really, Blithering Idiot's a fantastic beer already, and to bourbon barrel age, it is insane.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for bringing these
No
four beers for
problem.
us to
Thank
taste.
you for
Amazing.
coming out. And you're going to hang
Absolutely.
out for the Aliens Homebrew meeting for Event. Listen to
right.
Colin. And
Yeah,
maybe if you want, you can feel free to sit at a table and judge some beers. You have to sit at the tea table and judge mine.
Is that cheating? No.
Yes, a little bit. I told everyone when I was bartending last night here, there was some homebrew club members that came in. I was like, okay, this is my beer. This is what it's going to taste like. You have to vote for me. Just kidding, aliens. I play fair. No, it's always, blind judging, and it's just the best beer wins. But you're more than welcome to stay around and try some beers. And again, thank you for driving all the way down to the Humeville.
Absolutely.
I'll have to get up there sometime. Humeville. Human. I mean, it's Hulme. I don't.
Just ignore the L, and it's good.
Hume.
Yeah, well,
But no, then it would be like hum.
I thought it was
Oh, that's
Hummelville.
Hummel, right.
I thought it was Hummelville for the longest time.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you were when you emailed about it, I would just glance at it and I thought, oh, Hummelville.
Pretty sure it's only like a square mile town. That's okay. This is real. This is it. There's a
This is
fire
it.
station, the firehouse, the bar.
That's all you need.
The traffic light.
That's it. That's it. And then
Gas
over there's,
station,
so it's
something.
fine.
Yeah.
No one ever gets it.
Well, yeah, we want to thank you for coming on to the show.
No
Finally,
problem.
we've been trying to get this for a while now. So now your Twitter was at Weyerbacher Nat, correct?
Weyerbacher Nat, yes.
Okay,
And my
Weyerbacher.
Instagram, which I just started. I only ever post beer things. Even if you're my Facebook friend, Natalie DeChico, feel free to friend me. It's literally just all beer, sometimes food thrown in there. So, please feel free to follow.
What kind of food?
Good food.
Okay, good answer.
Generally, beer
Are,
dinner.
are you a vegetarian and or vegan?
No.
Okay.
No.
What's your stance on bacon?
Dan approves.
Love it. Actually, we have some bacon crostinis downstairs. We have a new cook down here that started saving all the bacon fat.
Whether you
And-
realize it or not, you and I just became lifelong friends.
I mean, how can you not? I mean, I don't want to say you can't enjoy food and not like bacon, but Jess, our vice president of the Homebrew Club, is a vegetarian, but she does allow bacon sometimes.
Ooh.
I mean, that's, I think, a great vegetarian stand.
I think that's your goal in life, is to get me to eat bacon again, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Oh,
yeah.
you don't? No.
Vegan.
No.
Vegan.
Yeah.
She's a vegan.
Oh.
We
She
got
went
her
to
vegan
Vegan Academy.
chocolate. We did a chocolate and beer pairing,
Okay.
which will be
I
coming
did.
up for our Valentine's Day
Yeah.
episode.
Will have
Preview.
already
Oh, that's
aired.
nice.
No, coming up. Sorry.
No, this
Yeah.
one's first.
That's Valentine's Day.
That's Valentine's
Yes.
Day.
So vegans, no. I mean, I think I could get away with
She
no
is,
red
quote,
meat.
I'm a
but-
vegan, but I eat cheese when I'm drunk.
That's
Oh,
true.
I
have
forgot about
said that.
cheese too. I think cheese and seafood would be my biggest.
Oh, I can't do
Not really
seafood.
red meat. No.
I don't
Red
meat. I don't miss at all.
Mayonnaise.
Meat, seafood.
I
at
can't
all.
live
It's
without
the, it's
mayonnaise.
The
You know
dish
what?
that's hard.
Veganese is actually pretty good.
Veganese is awesome.
I hate to admit that.
Okay, it's
What's
not bad.
veganese?
Vegan mayonnaise.
Vegan mayonnaise.
Oh, well, obviously. I was just... You know, like, I heard myself asking that, and I knew it was going to be mayonnaise, but I was just kind of hoping, like, maybe it was just, like, a way to eat cheese if you were a vegan. Is there vegan cheese?
There is vegan
Yeah.
cheese.
Okay.
It's not real cheese, but
Because I just did a cheese pairing seminar. We've had, I go down to De Bruno's all the time. Oh, my gosh. And there's so many new cheeses out there that they can't even classify at De Bruno's. There's, sorry.
No,
Can I
that's
keep going?
fine.
It's
Talk about
an
cheese if you
Italian
want.
cheese that's wrapped in chestnut leaves that's soaked in liquor, and it's like almost like a hybrid between
Oh, wow.
a provolone, a Gouda, they don't even know what to call it.
Wow.
It's so tremendously expensive and delicious.
I want
We
this.
had it at
I
Christmas.
want this.
We had it at our cheese and beer pairing for the Homebrew Club, and then we had it at my house for Christmas. They get one wheel a year. It's fantastic. It
That
is
sounds
really,
amazing.
really good. All the casings in there, the crackly saltiness, and then the sweetness, and we paired it with Blasphemy, our bourbon barrel aged Belgian quad from Weyerbacher. Great.
another great beer.
Sorry, not trying to turn you, but I can keep going.
No, I have a lot of people that have been trying to.
Yeah.
No, but it's good. It's good to try and stay healthy, especially in this industry. It's tough.
I gotta
It's a
say,
lot of beer.
I've had a lot of Steph's vegan dishes that she makes, like a vegan mac and cheese, and
Ooh.
different things that normally have very much non-vegan things in them, and it's always really good.
Thanks, I
I-
appreciate that. My brother would never say that, so
No,
I'll
he
take
wouldn't.
Oh,
it.
that's good.
I think I went on record once and said that your macaroni salad was pretty good.
I do make
And
a mean vegan macaroni
I don't think I
sauce.
said this on a recording, but you're welcome for what's about to come out of my mouth.
Oh, dear.
The meatballs that you made, those were really good.
Well, I didn't make those. Trader Joe's did.
Well,
I
the
just heated them
meatballs
up.
that you the meatballs that you cooked so I could eat them were pretty good.
Thanks. I
Right.
appreciate it.
I mean, if someone could cook me food like that all the time, I would 100% eat, vegan or vegetarian.
I
It's
wouldn't.
just okay. You're right. Maybe I wouldn't, but I would eat a lot healthier than I do now, which is just living in my car, driving all over.
Yeah.
Wawa
I can
gobbler,
imagine.
thank you.
Oh
Yes,
my
I'll
God.
take two.
That's gotta get pretty
Great.
unhealthy.
That's lunch and dinner.
I think
Sure.
you can still get turkey bowls at Wawa.
Turkey what?
Turkey bowls.
Oh yeah. I just had a gobbler the other day.
Really?
They didn't.
Still do the gobbler too?
Yeah,
I figured it was
maybe
just the
right
bowl
here.
they were doing. Oh wow.
No, they had a gobbler.
Wawa, you can send your checks to Beerbuster.
Yes. There's not many in North Jersey. If anyone would like to open a franchise above Route 78 in North Jersey of Wawa's, I would greatly
You
appreciate
would have
it.
at least one loyal customer.
Yes. I think you'd have many.
There is one in Florida.
Is there?
Yeah,
Wait, there's a Wawa in Florida?
opened a
Yingling
store in
and
Florida.
Wawa.
Yeah, I was gonna say Yingling.
Pennsylvania's
are good
taking
stuff.
venue.
Yeah, Florida is like Pennsylvania of the South, apparently.
Pretty much. I
It
mean,
is.
when you think of
Only
who goes down to Florida,
flat and humid.
Pennsylvania.
Well,
Yeah.
Humid,
It's a-
Humeville. I get the tie-in. Good job.
it's our third best-selling
Wasn't
state,
even
actually,
trying.
Florida, for Weyerbacher.
Oh, really?
Oh,
It
awesome.
is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when you think of it, though, it is all Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jerseyans that travel down. New Jerseyans? Oh, yeah. That travel down there or live down there.
That's true.
Everything like
Yeah,
that. And they're getting into more crafty things. Though if you go into Whole Foods or Wegmans or Total Wine down there that carry our beer, you can pretty much only find our high alcohol beers, which I think is funny. One of our wholesaler reps was down there, and he said, "Hey, I'm in a Whole Foods in Miami, and you only have Blithering Idiot. Are you shitting me?" It's like, sorry. Are you
Number two. That's the number
Sorry,
two S
are
bomb
you
on the show.
kidding me? It's 90 degrees out and I wanted something and you have
yeah.
Blithering Idiot. I said, sorry, that's what they want from us. That's what they go through is our big beers down in Florida. I guess they
wow.
have plenty of, the
They're
whites.
retired. They don't gotta
Yeah.
get up early in the morning.
Exactly.
we got to get pop up of
I was going to
Blithering
say,
Idiot.
yeah, if it's in Naples.
Our grandfather lives down there.
In Naples,
awesome.
yes.
And
Absolutely.
Casey Hughes, from Flying Fish, is down in Tampa right now brewing and everything with Coppertail.
And Funky Buddha
Funky
is
Buddha.
up here right now. They're
Yeah.
in Delaware. They're
Oh, are they?
brewing a
With Dogfish
collaboration
Head.
beer with Dogfish Head
Yeah.
right
Are
now
they?
as we
Oh,
speak.
wow.
Right now. We
And
should have
it's
went
gonna
down.
have, it's going to have habaneros in it.
Ooh.
Oh.
Air high five. Thank
You could talk to Jess, our VP, about spicy beers all day because I cannot handle spice, and she makes fun of me all the time. She just brewed a Mexual chocolate. I always mess it up. Sexual and Mexican put together. Mexual chocolate.
Mexual.
Nice.
Nexual chocolate.
I want a
and
bottle of that.
Yes, she brewed, and I think she just brewed. Is it a jalapeno saison this past weekend? No, she's done something like that before. Something
That's
else.
got a good
Yeah,
jalapeno.
I've done a jalapeno.
But
saison.
she's teaching tonight, so she should be here around 9:30, 10.
She and I need to hang out.
Definitely. She's sometimes
good.
when people ask, I mean, each of our each of our officers in homebrew clubs, you all bring something different to the club, I think, and I'm not ever going to claim I'm the most knowledgeable brewer out there. I brew for fun with my dad. So sometimes if there's more technical questions, I can steer them to who, they need to talk to depending on their question or whatnot. And like for spice and everything, I'm like, Jess will handle that question. Oh, saisons, that's Chris. And we have people to go to, oh, yeast counts and whatnot. You can go, not me. But hopefully you can meet up with her sometime and talk
cool. That'd be
spices.
awesome.
Yes.
Cool. Well, I believe you guys have an aliens meeting coming up, so
We do.
I would like to
It's
again
okay.
thank you for coming on the show. Finally,
problem.
it was so much fun having you
Yeah.
on.
Next time
Yeah,
I'll
definitely.
track up towards you guys.
Yay.
So,
Yeah.
yes.
Or we could just meet at Weyerbacher.
We could.
That's
Just
true.
saying.
Oh,
You did
yeah, that
say
would be
private
great.
tour.
Oh, no, we
Just
can
saying-
definitely do that. No,
Oh, yeah. It'd be
definitely.
Fun. 15 samples
Before
on the show.
and or
my
after
God.
the
It will be a
private
5-hour
tour.
spectacular.
Or if you want to wait, we should do it one day when they open empty blasting barrels, because you have to sample each barrel as they're being emptied, which wouldn't be till April.
Oh God.
We could
right.
do that. I could try and arrange
Yes.
it. If
Rich.
not, we can just try some of the barrels like that we have on the wall. They'll pull samples from there
that's
for special
awesome.
tours.
That's awesome.
Rich will need to rent a van for us then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
to. We'll need to sleep that one off.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's hotels in Easton.
We'll get a hotel.
We have
No, we
hers.
have our DD.
Oh, okay.
Rich is our
He's the
official
DD,
Beer
yeah.
Busters
Well,
DD.
I'm not
so
close,
it's all
so
good.
I will get a hotel.
I actually just get a hotel. I mean, sooner rather than later, we're gonna have a business account, and we can just that stuff.
There you go.
We'll just write it off.
Right.
Well, yeah. Thank you again, Natalie. So much fun. The beers are fantastic. The
Thank you.
Althea was good. I had your basil
Thank
one
you.
at Philly Beer Geek last year, which was
Yes.
amazing.
That was
So
awesome.
good.
Yes.
So good.
I love that whole herb aspect.
Yeah, it was something I don't think anybody else has really done that I've come across. But we want to thank you. You've got a lot to do tonight, so we're going to let you go and do what you have to do. But anytime you want to come back on the show, you are more than welcome.
No problem.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, we don't really start too promptly. I have to kind of go downstairs and corral everyone
Gather
up
everybody
anyways.
up from the bar.
So they kind of just wait till they see my face. They're like, oh, crap, we got to go upstairs. Natalie's down here. She's going to yell at us. So, no, thank you again for having me on.
Definitely.
And Weyerbacher. And, again, Colin Presby, more people being voted into the American Homebrewers Association for the East Coast. We need people with an East Coast view.
PresbyForAHA.com.
What is it?
PresbyForAHA.com.
The
Go to
number or
Beerbusters.
the word?
Word, all spelled out. Presby,
Yeah.
FORAHA.com.
And you can find weekly blog posts
As
on
in-
beerbusterspodcast.com
That's
following
right.
his campaign.
And I'm producing a commercial that will air with this episode.
Yeah, so you will have
excellent.
already probably heard it.
I'm going to put it at the end, so you will hear it.
Oh, you will hear it in a moment.
And your Twitter is at Beer.
At
Beerbusters.
Yes. I just followed it the other day. I didn't realize I was not following. It's tough. Twitter's, I feel like
it's
tougher and
tough,
tougher to
yeah.
keep
Yeah.
up with. But anyways, thank you again.
Thank you, Natalie.
thank you.
Thank
No
you so
problem.
much
Thank
for
you.
everything.
Yeah.
So now that that's done, we have our returning champion, Colin Presby, is here to join us for another rousing rendition of Happy Fun Times games. So, Wayne, what do we have today?
Well, since I have recently been scraping the bottom of the barrel of internet beer trivia, we've decided to mix things up a little bit. And instead of doing a trivia-based game, we are going to do a traditional ad-libbed word game.
Oh, I guess we can't call it what
A
it really is.
non-copyright infringing version of a game you may have played with your friends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and I'm going to ask everybody to pick a word. We're going to alternate. You pick a word, you pick a word, you pick a word. And I'll tell you an adjective, a noun, whatever. And I'll fill it. I think you know how this game works.
So, wait, we're going to find out how bad I was in English class, right?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yes.
As long as I'm prepared.
We're going to find out the extent of your vocabulary.
Oh, God.
And we're going to start to my left.
Just once. Just once go right.
No, absolutely not.
You're the anti-Zoolander. You won't go right.
No, pass on the left-hand side. That's how it works. So the first word I need from you, Dan, to my left, is an adjective.
Adjective.
An adjective.
Adjective. Green.
Green.
Because
Dan.
the tablecloth on the table we're at is green.
Hey, whatever it takes. All right. We're going to move along to reigning champion Colin. Now, speaking of champion, there's really no points in this game, so nobody's going to win.
Everybody
wins. We're all
All
fantastic.
right. Do we get participation trophies?
You get a check plus. I need a verb ending in ing, which I believe is a present participle or something.
Oh, come on.
I don't know.
Winning?
Winning. Hey,
Winning.
winning.
Hashtag Charlie Sheen would be proud of you.
Winning the internet. Alrighty. Steph, appropriately, I need a name of a brewery. You know a lot of them. You've been to
Name
like
of a
every one
brewery.
in the United States.
Okay, well, I was just at Pizza Boy, so we'll do Pizza Boy Brewing.
Pizza Boy, I like that name.
You couldn't have said Stouts because Colin is back.
That's all right.
Well,
Boy
I was
works.
going to, but I didn't want it to be obvious.
I think Pizza Boy is funnier. It's more humorous, sort of. Moving along. Dan, from you, I need an adjective.
I can't do
Not a
green.
color.
I know.
Not a color.
Wait.
An adjective, not a color.
colors are
Crap.
off the table.
Yes.
But no. Long.
Long as in L-O-N-G.
As in
Long.
L-O-N-G.
Man, I thought you'd be
Okay.
the creative one in this game.
Apparently not. Colin, you don't have much room to be creative here, but you can try. I need a number. 8675309.
06300.
73. I like 73. We're going to go with
I'm
73.
going to go with
All right, moving along to Steph. Steph, I need an adjective.
An adjective.
Not a color.
Not a color. I'm going to say stupendous.
Stupendous. Like stupendous man. A crimson streak. All right, moving along to Dan. No room for creativity here. I need a number. Another
42.
number. 42. Very good.
That was
Very good.
fast.
The best
The
number.
best number in the universe. And we're back to an ing verb. A verb ending in ing from Colin. Something you were doing right now.
Drinking?
Drink. Hey, very good. Very good. Very good. That's appropriate. Cheers. Cheers all around. Moving on to Steph. And apparently this is math fandom. We need another number.
Another number?
Yeah.
413.
413. Somebody say pie. Okay, moving along to Dan. I need a noun. I need a plural noun. And that is a noun of which there is more than
know what
one.
plural means.
Usually
Typically
ending
ends
in
in an
S.
S.
I know what plural
Or
means.
ES or
See,
IES.
but now there's pressure on me because now I know it has to end in an S, but Steph had to make the comment, oh, you can use the creative one. I'm going to go with dartboards.
Dartboards.
Oh.
Dartboards.
Wonder how you
Okay.
came up with that one.
I don't know. I don't know. A dartboard anywhere from 50 miles from here. Moving along to Colin, and I need an adjective.
Shiny.
Shiny. Nice and shiny. Steph, another adjective.
Another adjective,
Yes.
stinky.
Stinky. All right. Pretty cool. Dan, yet another adjective.
I'm gonna go with
Pearlescent.
Yes.
Scrumtrelescent.
How do you spell that? SCRUM. Scrum.
TRALESC.
Scrumtrelescent. I think that should be a U and not an A. Scrumtrelescent.
Sounds good.
Oh my god.
Okay. Colin, adjective.
No pressure.
Silence.
It's not an adjective. Silency.
Silency.
Hoppy?
Hoppy. Okay.
I don't know if we're sticking on a beer theme or not.
Well,
Yeah.
the story doesn't. We don't have to, but the story involves beer anyway.
Well, every story involving beer should have hoppy in it.
This is very
is
true.
true.
Okay. Steph, I need an adverb.
An adverb.
An adverb. Those are words that typically end in ly.
Okay.
Adjectives that modify
Okay.
verbs.
Stickily.
Stickily. How about stickly?
Stickly.
All right, we're gonna go with stickly.
Right to me, Stickly, P.O. Box 963, New York City, New York State, 10108.
Ingverb.
Ingverb?
Singing.
Singing.
No, hold on. No. Reminiscing.
Reminiscing.
We're working on his spelling here.
Sing. SCING, I believe. Okay. Colin, I need a past tense. Past. I need a verb that has already happened.
ED. Do it.
One?
3.
One. I like that.
Winning
You also-
and one.
You avoided the ED rule. Steph, another adverb.
An adverb. Quickly.
Quickly. I think if you did a survey and asked like 100 people to name an adverb,
They would most
the majority
say-
would say
yeah,
quickly.
quickly.
Yeah, I just have that.
Eh.
Quickly name an adverb.
How
Dan.
fast did they reply?
Quickly, Dan, name of a person.
Steph.
All right, fair enough. Although Steph's already in this story. Okay.
How about Steph with an F?
Steph with an F? Okay, Steph with an F.
Because I'm
Hold
Steph
on.
with
Hold on.
PH.
Hold on.
Staphylococcus.
Wait. Stop.
You can't change it now.
No, too late. Colin, plural noun.
Glasses.
Glasses.
Now, are we talking
Glasses.
like glasses as in I'm drinking out of a glass?
The
or
story
like,
will provide the context.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Next.
Steph, I need another plural noun.
Another plural noun. Hockey pucks.
Hockey pucks.
Nice. Wonder how you got that.
Hockey pucks. I don't know. There's no hockey pucks for like 100 miles from here. Dan, I need another ingverb.
Ingverb.
Ingverb. Verbing.
Let's go with
Recycling.
struggling.
Struggling.
To think of something.
That's good. I like that. All right, Colin, another past tense verb.
Calculated.
Calculated. Okay, Steph, a simple singular noun. Cat.
Cats. Sure.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on.
There's no cats in 100 miles from here.
Yeah, I mean, really. What's a cat?
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Okay. There's plenty of those. We make stew out of them. All right, Dan, I need an adverb.
Ends in ly, right?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
But not always.
Most of the time.
Usually. Not necessarily.
Trudgingly. No.
I before E.
Trudgingly? Does that work?
Trudgingly.
Trudgingly.
That works.
Trudgingly. Trudge.
I don't know why that came to mind.
I don't.
It's creative, so good.
Yeah,
with it.
It's also probably not really a word. Colin,
It
I
is.
need-
I've read it in the dictionary.
Okay.
You read the dictionary?
No.
Another ingverb, another verb ending in ing. Survey says
Spilling.
spilling. There's a lot of entries here. Okay, we're getting close to the
Next
end.
time we'll make this shorter.
Yeah, that's okay. Steph, a singular noun.
A singular noun. Bottle.
Bottle.
I was waiting for that to come up.
Bottle. There's not a bottle. Dan. I need another ing verb.
Partying.
Partying.
Partying. What? Partying. Yeah.
Friday. Colin, plural noun.
Beverages.
Beverages.
I like cold
Frosty
beverages.
beverages. All right. And Steph, I need an imaginary social media website.
Oh, I was hoping I would not get this one. Help me out.
Finger bang.
No!
Okay.
You
Edit.
almost went with it too.
Insta-itter Facebook. No. I'm trying to combine them all.
Chris Mahana Quantica.
Twittergram book.
Twittergram book. Okay.
/space.
/space.
I'm still posting everything on MySpace, by the way. I don't know why.
.co.uk.
I don't know why.
For Tom. You're posting it for Tom.
Is Tom on MySpace?
Probably not. He left MySpace for Facebook.
Next.
And then Twittergrams the book.
Who's
or whatever the hell it was.
Dan, I need a noun. A noun is a thing, a person, a place, or a thing.
Or an idea.
Or a thing, or a pet. I had a teacher that said
animal?
a person, a pet, a place, or a thing.
That's weird. I'm going to go with Alpha Centauri.
You're going to go with Alpha Centauri. Okay, Alpha Centauri, I think. I wrote that in the wrong spot. God.
Uh-oh.
Darn it to heck. Alpha Centauri. Colin, I need a profession. I do, really. Preferably one that pays well.
Radio personality?
Radio personality.
That doesn't pay well.
Yeah, well.
I was going to say brewer, but you said pays well. That's clear out.
Brain surgeon. Steph, I need another ing verb.
Ing verb. Time traveling.
Time traveling. TARDISing. Time travel.
If I had another noun, I was going to do the thing that makes time travel possible. The
flux
capacitor.
Yep.
There are many things that make time travel possible. That is only one. Dan, I need a number.
No, I already went with 42, so let's go with 43.
43. Wow. Wow. I'm staggered by your massive intellect. Colin, our very last word is a plural noun.
Flux capacitors.
Beer busters?
Beer busters. Hey, very good. Very good. Okay. After that long, arduous, painful romp through the dictionary, we are now going to present our story. I think it's only one page, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're done.
Thank God.
All right, we're gonna present our story, and this is It was a green day. Dan and Steph were winning at Pizza Boy. They sat down at the bar and perused the long menu of 73 beers.
That works.
That works.
Change it.
Dan ordered a stupendous IPA, and Steph ordered 42 samples of beers. No surprise there.
It's pretty accurate so far.
This also makes sense. Immediately, Steph began drinking her beers on Untappd.
No!
Doesn't really make sense. Rating them all with 413 dartboards. In true Beer Busters fashion, they started an impromptu shiny tasting segment. Dan described his IPA as stinky and scrumpulescent.
Scrumpulescent.
Absolutely. Steph described her samples as hoppy.
It works.
Yeah, okay.
This isn't supposed to
Just
work
then,
so well. Just then.
Steph began stickily reminiscing around the brewery. Dan won quickly. Just then, Wayne entered the brewery with Steph with an F, carrying a bag full of glasses and hockey pucks. He abruptly began struggling while Dan calculated his squirrel.
Hopefully in private.
Hopefully. In the bathroom. The brewer trudgingly came over to the Beer Busters and asked them to stop spilling.
Well, that's about right.
Once settled down, Steph, Dan, and Wayne went on a tour of the brewery. The tour began in the bottle room, where the brewers were partying the beverages. Makes sense. Steph took a picture with her iPhone and posted it on twittergrambook/space.co.uk. Next, the tour led them to Alpha Centauri, where the radio personality was time-traveling 43 beer busters. Perhaps it's time to go home. The end.
Oh my God, that was fantastic.
Glad I could help.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for helping.
And they all lived happily ever after.
It wasn't
Good night.
as bad as I was fearing.
So now that we've gotten a chance to talk to Natalie about everything that she does and everything she's done, all the beers that she's made and everything, let's do this.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
So, Steph, which of Natalie's brews do we have today?
So I picked up a bottle of Althea, which is the Belgian-style double brewed with plums. This bottle-conditioned beer comes in 750 milliliter cork and cage bottles, and it comes in at a 7.7 ABV. So this was the beer that Natalie was telling us about a little bit earlier. So now we're going to pop it open, and we're going to see what we think. So when you hold it up, you get that nice reddish amber color.
Yeah.
You know, it's I dare I say slightly purple.
I was going to say the same thing, but I didn't know if that was because we mentioned there's plum.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting is when you hold it to the light, you really get the redness, but then when you hold it away from the light,
it darkens up a little bit.
Yeah, and it has like a dark purple, like just a hint of it.
It's
a
more
nice
like
color.
a burgundy-ish brown to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Perhaps.
Does it stay classy?
Stay classy, my friends.
friends.
But it has a nice fluffy white to off-white.
Does it
head
wear
there.
Sex Panther?
To be fair, that wasn't Ron Burgundy.
Oh, true. Sorry.
Anyway, let's smell the aroma of this
yeah.
beautiful brew. I do get the plums.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I get
A little bit.
The first thing I get is that what you expect, that Belgian banana type character, but then you do kind of get the plums coming.
Lots
there
of
as well.
dark fruits like figs, like raisins, maybe some dried fruits.
Yeah, although I don't think I've ever actually smelled a fig. As a point
Have
of
you had a
reference.
Fig Newton?
I have had fig Newtons.
Then you've smelled
Have you
a fig.
smelled them?
I've smelled. Well, okay. I meant like a real actual.
I'm sure Nabisco will tell you they're real figs.
The taste isn't quite what I was expecting.
No, me neither.
No, it's tart.
Yes,
It's
I
tart.
get that too.
It's got like a hint of spice to it also. Not like spice, like spicy, like pepper, but like an allspice kind
Yeah.
of deal.
It does. And you know what? It tastes like a Belgian with plums. Exactly what
Exactly
it says on
what
the
it-
label.
as advertised,
it
right?
does, but it does. That's really what you get. You get your standard Belgian flavors that you expect: the yeasty, banana, clova, some of that clove spice that you're talking about.
And you know what?
But then you get the plum.
Yeah, I've had one of Natalie's beers before. We were at with Colin. We were at the Philly Beer Geek Finals last year, and she had one. I guess she was the winner the year before, and she brewed one that was.
So this was a homebrew that she had made, or is this?
Well, it was. Who picked it up? Was it Manioc that she brewed it with?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it was an oregano, or was it basil? I don't know. We might have to fact check this, but it was really good. And I looked at it, and
Was it parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme?
It might have been. It might have been. But I just wanted to try it to see what it was all about, and just because it was this homebrew that kind of went, mainstream more or less for a temporary,
Like collaboration that they did.
Yeah,
or a sort
there's
of
words that are not
one-time-
coming out right now.
Yeah,
But no, it was really good, and I think I got the last pint that they had too
Oh,
at
really?
the bar. Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
it was good, and it was exactly
Oh,
what it claimed to
It
be.
was the basil IPA.
Yes, it was exactly
was.
what it claimed to be, and I made sure to tell her that at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
There was nothing. I mean, it was
So-
straight up an IPA laced with basil, basically, and it was.
Was it-
you didn't expect anything else. You didn't get anything else.
You got what it said. Was it brewed with basil?
Yes.
I guess it must have been.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
like in the mash or whatever.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
just proud I used a brewing term. Brewing
A
term.
brewing term, yeah.
Yeah, it was a 6% ABV, 58 IBU basil IPA that they brewed with Amarillo, Asterion, Aurora, and Cascade hops, and basil. So they used it in the boil to get the aroma. So that beer, I remember it had a lot of like caramel sweetness to it, but and it was very bready, and the basil just sort of added an extra layer to it. So I believe that was as part of her winning Philly Beer Geek.
Right.
She got to brew that. So
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
not to deviate from the one that we have in front of us, but I've noticed. I mean, I'm noticing a theme then with her beers. You get exactly what it says.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Which is
this
awesome.
This is a really interesting taste, and I really like this. It's almost got like a hint of almost like cranberry juice, sort of sitting in the background.
No,
like
I
the,
get
like
that,
the
yeah.
tartness that you would expect from
Yeah.
from like good cranberry juice,
Yeah.
not from like your cheap sugary, but like really good.
From the stuff you find at Trader Joe's.
That's because I'm getting the sweetness, but it's not sweetness. That's a perfect way to describe it. is
Right,
the
right.
cranberry
It's
juice.
it's that sort of fruit taste that when you buy like cheap fruit juice, they take these fruits like cranberry or plum, and then those sorts of things, and just pile a ton of sugar on it
Yeah.
But if you were to actually have like real squeezed cranberry juice,
Right.
Where you're not having it buried under sugar.
Yeah, this is the
That's the kind of-
sweetness of the fruit, not the sweetness of the sugar.
Exactly.
That's
It's
a great
more-
way to
it's-
describe it.
It's a pure fruit flavor. as it were.
So just to remind our listeners, this beer was released in October of 2013 for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It was brewed to help defray the costs of Lehigh Valley area breast cancer patients in need, and $1 per bottle was and will be donated to the Breast Cancer Patient Assistant Fund of the Lehigh Valley Health Network. So you're drinking a great beer and helping a great cause.
Absolutely.
So cheers to that, and cheers to Natalie DeChico.
Yeah, well,
absolutely.
very well done, Natalie. Cheers.
Cheers.
Are we? Yeah.
There's
There's an actual cheers happening right here.
And the label's really cool. It incorporates, the standard pink of breast cancer awareness.
Steph, can you turn that towards me? It was turned
it's
away.
done really well.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So good job, Natalie, and good job, Weyerbacher. And as we found out, this beer, actually, the name Althea means healer in Greek, which I think is a pretty cool tie into the whole the theme that the beer is going with for breast cancer awareness and everything. It's pretty awesome. Now, since Natalie's not actually here with us currently at the Beer Busters podcast basement, we'll plug her social media for her.
Absolutely.
Her Twitter.
You're welcome.
Yes. Her Twitter is at WeyerbacherNat. Now, Weyerbacher is WEYERBACHER, and then Nat is NET. And you can go to the homebrew club that she's a part of, Aliens. It's ALEIENS.com. If you are interested in joining them and are local to that club, they will meet the last Tuesday of every month at the Whomville Inn.
Whoville? All the who's down in Whoville?
All the who's in Whoville.
Since I'm going to spell
Whoville.
everything out, it's the HUMLEVILLE.
We'll put it on our
In.
website. It's all good.
Which is a perfect segue to beerbusterspodcast.com, where you can find our social media. You can email us. You can contact us through the contact form that's on there. You can check out our blog post, which will continue to grow because now it's been recorded and we have to do it. You can check out the Beer Busters Podcast swag shop that Wayne was so awesome to put up there. Am I forgetting anything?
The newsletter.
Subscribe to the newsletter.
Please sign up. It's free, and you will just get gushes of awesomeness in your inbox.
Yes, you absolutely will. So do that too. And now, unfortunately, my friends, this does bring us to the end of another episode of Beer Busters Podcast. And it was the great man that is Sam Adams who said, "Let no man thirst for good beer." I like that quote a lot.
That is a good one.
So, as usual, my friends, my name is Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and our from entertainer,
Wayne Baker.
Thank you for joining us for this podcast that we know is Getting Drunk on Air. And until next time, my friends, we bid you adieu.
Yes.
In its 35 years of existence, the American Homebrewers Association has helped many people begin and continue their quest to make the perfect beer at home. As a long-standing member of the AHA, Colin Presby has gone above and beyond in his local community to grow the appreciation for craft beer and homebrewing. Having founded the Berks County Homebrew Club in 2010, he has successfully led the club through 4 years of growth. Colin also teaches homebrewing at Goggleworks Center for the Arts in Reading, Pennsylvania. Looking to the future, Colin is running for a position with the governing committee of the AHA to bring a much-needed perspective from the East Coast in a Western-dominated governing body. If you support increased communication between local clubs and organizations, Colin Presby is your man. A vote for Colin Presby is a vote for the betterment of homebrewers across the country.
I'm Colin Presby, and I approve this message.